Amen.
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 All right.
If you would, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Right hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Super. Thank you, everybody. So we're all back. Couple of comments. You got the invitation, as was mentioned earlier, about the computer dedication. It's not clear to me. I think, well, let me say it this way. I believe that Jose's going down to be there, but it's not clear to me if there's a desire by anybody else to go down. If we have our vaccinations and stuff, why, I'm sure it's okay, but I'm not sure about the border crossing. So I just assume not, just watch on the Facebook this year.
I agree.
You know, and just a lot easier. So
and the other issue, Dennis, is also that carpooling would be an issue because of the proximity, you know? So.
well, I mean, I think most of us, I think, are going to have our vaccines by that point, I believe. But so that shouldn't be that big an issue. But
well,
anyway,
it's this month, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well,
It's only 2 weeks. 2 weeks after your last vaccine. So.
Yeah, but I haven't had any yet.
You haven't. Well, we'll just put a bag and you can go in the bag. So.
You're in the bubble.
Yeah, the bubble. Oh, that's good. I like that. The bubble.
Big clear bag over your head. Nice.
Yeah.
That's not funny.
No, that wasn't.
Brian, that's just mean.
This is true.
True, but mean.
It's true and mean. It's mean. No, it's mean. So, so I apologize. I apologize.
I'm not worried.
Okay, so there's that. I haven't heard back from anybody about the strategy message I sent out. Any comments whatsoever? It's all been crickets. So I will be sending out a motion to further that to the next step later today. I want one nice thing to announce is that we have had a very good success with people contributing to the foundation. That's worked very well. It worked very well. And we have a new Paul Harris Fellow I'd like to announce. I have the material. It hasn't been delivered yet, but Brian has become a new Paul Harris Fellow. So I'd like to make that notice.
Woo!
Well, welcome to the club.
Thank you.
And I believe that John Klena will be joining you shortly, but for some reason there's some confusion with one of his items, so payment. So we got to figure that out, but I'm sure that'll clear up shortly. So that's good. We've had some good stuff. An odd thing, and I don't know if anybody's heard about this, but Valerie, when she joined, she got a membership ID, and then somehow at a later date, she was issued a different ID number. So she actually had 2 ID numbers as far as Rotary was concerned.
We get the video to work, but whatever.
And she didn't know which was the right one. So we finally got that squared away. And so now she just has one and her records are in good shape. So that's good to be resolved. And I think that is about it. Oh, I'll be sending out a notice. This kind of struck me as odd. Drexel, if you have some more information, let me know. I got an email from District Governor asking the clubs to vote on the nomination committee for the zones that's coming up. And I wasn't aware that clubs ever did that before, but I guess he's doing that now. Drexel, you have any additional information on that?
No, I saw that as unique and different and weird too. I'm not sure if it was a miscommunication or it's something different, but I don't have any comment.
Okay.
I will bring to your attention the one thing I haven't heard you comment about, nor is in the trumpet. Clubs are being asked sooner than later to contribute photographs with captions of projects and things the clubs has been doing that would be included in the virtual district meeting coming up. So anybody that has photographs about projects and things the club has been doing this past year, I would recommend that you get them assembled and send them on and make that an action item and a reminder in the trumpet, Dennis.
Oh, all right. I sent him, he sent me a request, and I sent him some, but if I didn't see anything for the whole club stuff, but that's fine. I'll send it out and we'll let them get what they want and they can use whatever they wish to use. So that's fine.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know who's collected what photographs on what projects. I know the only project my recollection is we really got together on was the baskets. But I'm just offering that as a reminder for all the clubs. You need to get that in.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Extra reminder, important. Brian,
Yes, sir.
do you mind? I just got a notice from Jose. He doesn't have the link to the meeting. Is it possible for you to send him a link?
Sure. I'll send it right now. No problem.
Thank you. Instead of having me fumble and dumble and
No.
try and speak and rub my tummy at the same time. That doesn't work. So,
Well, we were talking about things that we have done, and I just wanted to share that I have started to collect for the kids that go to the YWCA for the shelter. I have started to collect like pajamas and socks and things like that. Because I have a Gap Visa card, and every time you purchase something, you get points, and so I've accumulated a whole bunch of stuff. But I mean, I don't know if that's something that you want to include in what we've done for the YWCA.
Yeah, that we should have something. I'll go back and look because his notice to me was some time ago, and so
Yeah.
I'm not sure that the YWCA had happened yet. I'll go back and we'll open it up to everybody because I mean obviously I tend to get most of the pictures for the trumpet, so I have something for most of the projects, but that doesn't preclude somebody else from having their own pictures. Send them on. So I think that's good.
And I have a whole bunch of little things that I've been buying
Oh, okay.
for the kids. Like I figure, when they arrive and they don't have anything, they're gonna need pajamas, right?
Right.
So I
right.
have pajamas for, I don't know, you can't see it there. Where's my
Vic,
picture? Whatever.
we can see it.
Oh,
Hey,
good.
Vicky, when are you thinking you're going to turn those in?
Oh, well, I was actually thinking of waiting for until next Christmas, and then at Christmas time. But I mean, I don't care when. I mean, it's for them. So if they
Okay.
need it now,
Okay.
they can have it now.
No, I'm just trying to, if other people are going to coordinate, I was trying to get an idea of what the time scale was. That's all.
Whatever you decide, you give me an idea and I will follow along.
Okay.
Brian, I'm going to log out, or Dennis, I'm going to log out of this computer and log into my other one.
Okay. I think I
Oh.
just admitted you.
Oh, thank you.
We want to watch you do it.
No pressure.
And as I said,
Yeah, really.
So, okay, so I think that's it for my announcements. Oh, there's one thing I will comment. Yesterday I got an email from a gal, I guess with a high school girls traveling basketball team in West Covina. But I'm playing email with her about getting particulars about sponsors and things like that. So I'm not sure if this will really happen or not, but if I get the data that we need, why I'll be sending that out and letting everybody see it. But at this point, I'm still trying to work with her as to what in heck she's asking. So it's unclear, but I thought it was interesting, traveling basketball team. I know Jim and Dave are basketball guys, so.
Yeah, our kids played travel ball and all that stuff.
Yeah. So,
Dennis, what about that, we were supposed to vote for for one of the past district governors for something,
that's
You
the
and I-
zone, yeah, the nomination.
right? But
Yeah.
we're only supposed to send in one nomination, right?
Okay, well, let me ask this question.
Yes,
Did everybody get an email from the district governor?
just you and I think.
No, well, Drexel got it too,
Yeah, but he's special.
but he's a step above.
He's
Um,
special.
So yes, I was going to send out the email shortly asking the club members to, forward the district governor's email and ask the club members for a vote, should they choose. And then we'll do it that way. So they'll all see it shortly. And then we'll go on down the road, Vicky, and send in a vote from the club as a total, because you're
Yeah.
only supposed to vote for one
One vote per club. So
per club, right?
yeah.
Okay. Welcome, David Brankowitz.
Hi, David.
Hi,
How's
David.
everyone doing?
So, I think that was it for me. At this point, I think we be ready to move into our special guest speaker for the day, who is Kathy Carrano. And she is unfortunately on audio only today. But if you want to see her smiling face in person, you're able to go down to the restaurant and see her.
That's
So
what we're gonna do.
she's at Vincenzo's down at the Terrazza Plaza,
McIntyre Square.
McIntyre Square.
Yes. Yeah.
And yeah, Terrazza Plaza is a different place, isn't it?
The Pupilo Plaza was
Yeah.
our other location up in Azusa. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where we had Tulipanos, but now
Yeah.
we're in McIntyre Square.
Yeah. So they're right there by the Citrus on ramp and on ramp to the 10.
Correct.
And very nice place. I really like what you've done with your outdoor seating, by the way.
Isn't that beautiful? Yeah.
Yeah, you've really done a good job. So
Yeah. Well, McIntyre had something to do with that too. So I credit them, but they helped us during the first round of closures for indoor dining, and it helped immensely. And now it's, been good through winter too. So.
well, Kathy, with that introduction, I will let you move forward with your talk.
Okay, well, first of all, I wanted to thank Drexel and you, Dennis, and I think Carolyn kind of arranged for this, for me to speak about how the COVID pandemic had affected the restaurant industry and in particular my restaurant, I believe. So yeah, just, I don't think there was any industry hit harder than the hospitality industry and restaurants. And I think you can see that by the number of unemployed people out there and stuff too, how important this entity was to major cities, especially like New York and California that had been hit the hardest. So, you know, but thank goodness, I think the worst is behind us now with the vaccine coming and people feeling a little more comfortable getting out and about. I did see where the city of West Covina was considering breaking away from LA County as far as being the governing agency kind of for the health department, I believe. So that might be a good thing if this were to happen again. Let's hope not. But for outlying communities like West Covina, Montclair, well, Montclair, they're in San Bernardino, but say San Dimas, Laverne, all these areas that didn't have as high a number as in the city of Los Angeles and LA County proper, really suffered immensely, you know, and I think you can see that by the number of restaurants and small family businesses that have unfortunately not survived this. And I was very close to being one of them. So thank goodness, you know. So if anyone wants questions or whatever, I'll take questions, or I don't know if you want to know the history of the restaurant. I think many of you have been here, dined here. I see several familiar faces, and you know, we're just waiting to hopefully in the next couple weeks be back to maybe 25% to 40% indoor dining. And if we keep the outdoor dining as well, hopefully, you know, we'll be back to maybe 80%. I don't think we're ever going to go back to 100%. You know, I had gross revenue sales that were down over almost 50%. I think 48.3% was my gross revenue loss last year. That's significant. There's no way you can survive that. So now it's starting to come back a little bit, but there's a lot of makeup to do. And, you know, thank goodness we got the first PPP, but that only sustained us for about 5 months, just basically with payroll and rent. The biggest lifesaver right now was us being granted the Barstool Fund. If you saw the video, I think you posted in the Trumpet newsletter or whatever it was online about the grant that we received, and that helped tremendously. That came 1 hour literally after telling the McIntyre company that it was no longer sustainable, the business. So definitely the powers that be from above work their magic.
Oh.
Yeah.
Kathleen, I have two questions.
Uh-huh.
First, how is this possible, if West Covina gets out of or looks for another Department of Health, how that affects you as restaurants? And then how are you affected when you guys do come back, that you say you won't be fully 100% again indoors? What's your plan for that?
Well, to address the first question, as far as if West Covina, I think they were going to kind of get together with San Dimas too, right?
I think so.
Have you? Yeah.
I've heard.
So I mean, it's just our community was affected a lot less to a degree for the viruses and numbers, you know, than downtown Los Angeles and surrounding areas of LA, you know, just by being more in suburbia, and, you know, our restaurants are out in the open more and not as crowded, or small little restaurant rows like you see in downtown with, you know, the high percentages of, you know, infection and stuff. So I think if we had our own governing agency, you know, for these smaller suburban towns, it would be better, and we could have stayed open, or, you know, hopefully. coming back 100%, I think this virus I was in the medical field for 32 years as a physical therapist before coming, taking upon this restaurant. So I know a little bit about medicine and science, and still talk to other doctors and colleagues in the field. And, I think this is not going to go away. Even with the vaccine, I think even Fauci called it an endemic the other day. There won't be an end. So people are going to get vaccinated, and it'll become like, the Hong Kong flu or whatever else that we had, and it'll go through its phases, I believe.
Right.
And, but people will get the vaccine, and hopefully life will go on. But I think the older population, which a lot of my customers are more fearful than the 30 to 40-year-olds that come in and dine and stuff. And that's what's affected my business the most, is the diehards that have been with us and my late husband for over 23 years just stopped coming because they were afraid to go out. And a few of them I know have passed, unfortunately. But I back to 100%, or back to what our normal was a year ago, because that January and February before this pandemic hit, my sales number and the restaurant was booming. Finally, after 6.5 years, 7 years, and then just the rug got pulled out from underneath us all. And so in the restaurant business nowadays, it takes, 5 to 7 years to establish your business. Even us being an established business and just moving locations, it was still hard to get our footing. And new location, a little different cuisine from the other restaurant people weren't quite familiar with. And so, it took us a good 5 years to start showing some profitability and getting up there. And then this happened. So it's scary. It's, I really don't know. And unfortunately, I've gotten to the age where you start thinking about retirement and what I'm going to do in the next couple years. So, yeah.
Couple of questions, Kathy.
Uh-huh.
As a longtime customer, I say, thank goodness you stayed open. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you.
Now, to the questions. We understand that your son, Anthony, has done an important job in sustaining your activities, and maybe you can comment on that. And my second question is, to what extent have you been able to receive help from the feds or from the state government or from non-government organizations or bodies?
Okay. So first of all, Anthony, I described him as the wind beneath my wings. So the apple didn't fall far from the tree. He's very much like his father. Oh, sorry. I'm glad I'm not on camera.
We miss him. We miss him.
But he has just, filled those hip boots of his father's, and is the personality of this business, and, loves the customers as much as myself and my husband did. And he's just a great manager. He's my support, he's everything. And he was the one that got us this Barstool Fund, being younger and in that social media, he heard about it, and thank God that saved us, literally, so yeah, you got me. And then as far as what assistance we've gotten, I applied for anything and everything that was out there. There's probably some things that people don't know. West Covina was not considered a distressed area. So a lot of times you'd apply for a grant. There was this Eureka grant through Facebook. There was another small grant. There was a culinary one put on by these chefs. And it was odd, if you typed in 91791, the zip code for West Covina, automatically you did not qualify.
Wow.
You were not in a distressed area. And then I put in a zip code, on the other side of the freeway for Covina, and you could apply. So, a lot of that didn't make sense to me. And I think that's one reason why, if you were not logged into LA County, that you could have gotten a little more help or something out there. I don't know, but it had to do with minimum income and of the city, and West Covina is a great city, and there is a lot of affluence here. And, so a lot of times I just didn't qualify, like on, 2 pages in is like, oh, sorry, you're exempt, not eligible. So the first round of the PPP we did apply for. I didn't get it initially, but then when they opened it up to additional applicants, the second round with the first PPP, I did get that. And like I said, that basically went for payroll because it was important to stay open and keep my staff employed. They're like family to me, and keep, this restaurant going for the community. They did not want to see me close, and I felt like I was going to let them down if for some reason I did. And I didn't want to do that. The other thing is too, when you close a business, to reopen is very scary. That people don't realize. It's just, you can lock the doors, but you might have a couple $1,000s in food and wine that's just going to go bad or sit here. But then when you go to reopen, if you don't have, your rainy day fund, which we had started to use, where are you going to get the first week's payroll? Where are you going to get the first rent check? Where are you going to get where are you going to get $10,000 for provisions and starting all over again? Besides that, you lose a lot of your clientele, like, oh, they're closed and they're just going to start going, somewhere else. And then when you go to reopen, how do you recapture all that and get these people back? And that was the biggest fear, is why we stayed open, and we're just going to weather the storm more or less. So, but that PPP lasted, I'd say 5 months max with my rent and payroll. So, yeah. And then in January, when we got this Barstool fund, and then I've applied for the second PPP. It looks promising, but I haven't gotten it yet. So we'll see what happens. Yeah.
Kathy, this is Brian. I know you don't have a crystal ball. I was reading an article recently, and it was specifically about restaurants in San Francisco.
Uh-huh.
The analyst there, his estimate was that 50 to possibly as many as 70% of restaurants in San Francisco would not reopen. Do you have it's clear that you're going to go on, and Vincenzo's is going to go on. In terms of restaurants in West Covina or the East San Gabriel Valley, how bad do you think that the hit will be once we have the pandemic largely behind us?
Firsthand, I'm just here. I'm not driving around to seeing which restaurants are still open or closed, whatever. I hear more from my purveyors, people that bring me, the food in, the staples, the flours, the cooking oils, and my wine deliveries, so-and-so closed down. So-and-so, the Via Tapiac, over there right off of, is that on Hollenbeck? They've closed down. Craft Hill, I think, over on Grand, if I'm not mistaken. They've been closed for a while. So, it's sad. I would say the survival rate is probably going to be 50% or less that have survived, that have closed and try and reopen, to hang in there for another 5 years or something, and God forbid anything like this happen again. Yeah, it doesn't look good, unfortunately.
Wow. That's so sad.
And especially the big, chain restaurants, that small mom and pop, and you got a mother and a son, and literally Anthony and I have been working 10 to 12 hours a day, every day, and even doing our own shopping, going to Restaurant Depot and shopping myself, filling up the car, unloading, 30, 40-pound bags of flour and Alta Cacina tomatoes. And, but that's what we had to do to survive. There was no way, we would have otherwise. So yeah, need a good vacation after this.
I think that's a good point. I think it's like it almost seems like you have to get out of this closure and be allowed to run your business with less restrictions, but then to like help people overcome the fear of going out too. I know my wife and I mean, we have a going out budget, but we don't really go out anymore because it's like we kind of trained ourselves to eat at home. And like, how do we get, I mean, the challenge for the restaurant industry is how do we get people to be comfortable doing what they used to do again? I think with any industry, even schools, like I'm an assistant principal, how do we get our kids and families to be comfortable with schooling or other members, So that's the big one. How do we get past that psychologically?
Well, I think we need more positivity out there from the media and encouraging people, that rather than focusing on the 500,000, lives lost, look at how many 300 and whatever million have survived this and come back. We need to change our thinking. And I think there was a lot of misleading information about restaurants and how people were developing COVID from restaurants. When actually, I think the statistics were only showing it was like 9 to 14% max that people said they acquired it from a restaurant. But, going out one night to eat a month, your exposure is much greater by going to the grocery store once or twice a week, going to Lowe's or Home Depot or, out there in the community more than coming in, sitting at a table that's 6 feet, now 8 feet apart from somebody when your server's wearing gloves, masks, face shields, your exposure is much less because you don't see all that in the grocery store, besides the one shopping that decide not to wear masks anymore. So yeah, it's just going to be a kind of re-education and little by little baby steps getting back out there and people letting their guard down, feeling more comfortable, but still being safety, being safety is a number one priority. Yeah.
Yeah, I think as we see some of these statistics drop down, people are gonna gradually get acclimated back to, okay, now it's back closer to normal and we can go out and do our normal lives, do
Right.
those things.
Yeah, I sure hope so. I know I'm waiting.
Yeah. I was done a few months ago, but
Well, but believe me, the customers, I mean, the last few weekends, we've been quite busy, and believe me, all the customers are like, yeah, we're done with this. Let's get the vaccine. We're almost to herd population now. As long as no crazy variant comes along, people that are getting COVID now have much milder cases of it, recovering much quicker, unless you have that underlying physical, history of COPD or heart disease or diabetes or, things like that, is where those people still need to be very careful. But for, I would say, a majority of us, ready to get back out there and see family. And, the saddest thing is, like, some of my older customers in their 70s or even 80s, some of them haven't even been able to see their grandkids for a year.
yeah.
And they're thinking, if this continues on, I mean, I could very well die and not see my grandkids at all, just because my son or daughter, is afraid that the kids might have it and get us sick, which I understand, the guilt with that would just be tremendous. But at the same time, these grandparents are dying of a broken heart to see their grandkids, and get a hug from them. And, it's sad, very sad.
Yep. Any other questions? I one question, Kathy. How long did it take to you applied for the Barstool Sports thing? How long did that process take?
A week.
That quick?
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And so it was on a Saturday. This was very humbling to even have to go to them and ask for help. You know, I'm not that type of person. I've worked hard all my life. Like my son said in the video, you save for a rainy day for something like this to come along. Who knew it was going to last this long? But when all, you know, funds were getting exhausted, and at my age, I just was not ready to take out seconds or loans on my house and get into debt that way. I couldn't physically, you know, I gave it my best shot to keep this restaurant going and sustainable, and been through so much after losing my husband. And, you know, the restaurant was successful at no fault of my own. Was I going to have to close, you know? And I think people understood that, but at the same time, it was tough. So it was on Saturday, one of my girlfriends had mentioned starting a GoFundMe page. And I just said that I couldn't do that, you know? And then she got in touch with a friend of hers about this Barstool Fund. And I think her son was a student of down, I think, UC Irvine. And they had a guest speaker who was one of this Barstool Fund executive members or something, as far as fundraising and procurement and getting things for that type of business degree. He was going into that entity. So there was a guest speaker that knew about this Barstool Fund. And so she left a message on the restaurant phone about check into it, the model that they had for small family-owned businesses, that we fit the mold perfectly. And so my son had heard about it. Maybe he does a little online gambling, I don't know. But he was familiar with the Barstool Sports entity. And so on Monday, we applied. I think it was January 6th or something on Monday. We applied. They asked to do a video of the restaurant, which if you saw it, my son did a terrific job. His background was radio, television, and film. So took a couple takes, but, you know, we opened up our hearts, and, you know, we were honest about everything. So that was Monday. They got the video. On Wednesday, we got a confirmation from them. They asked how much we were looking for, and if it would be more towards rent or payroll or back, you know, lease or taxes, or what did you need the money for? So we asked for payroll, because without my staff, I wouldn't have a restaurant, you know. Besides, they stuck with me through, you know, the whole past year. And I felt that was the number one priority, was to keep my people on board here. They have families, they have children, you know. So that was Wednesday. Friday afternoon, we got the FaceTime call from Dave Portnoy. And we had the cash on Monday in the account.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And now they funded us 3 more times since. So it's every month they follow up with us. They want to see what our payroll was. They want to see what the gross sales were. They want to see if you're moving in the right direction. And they will continue to assist us until I say, okay, well, I got my second PPP, or we're okay, or I want you to help somebody else, or no, I'm still, you know, 90,000 in debt. Once I'm out of that debt, we're good to go. Whatever. They've been just most generous and very professionally run, and helping. I think they're up to 300 some now businesses they've saved.
Wow.
There's 36 million in the fund. We were the first restaurant in LA County to get it. We were number 91 of all the grants. So very blessed, very blessed. That's all I can say. So, but
Kathy,
an amazing the way they're doing it. And I would say anybody who could donate to that cause to pay it forward on my behalf, I would be most indebted. Yes, I think it's a wonderful opportunity. They're saving a lot of businesses. Yeah.
Kathy, where is the 36 million coming from?
It's called the Barstool Fund,
I know, but where is their money coming from?
donations.
Wow.
Donations from the public. I mean, Sylvester Stallone
Wow.
donated $1 million. Elon Musk donated $1 million.
Ah, okay.
Big companies, yeah. But, yeah. So
Wow.
unbelievable. Uh-huh. Yeah.
So
That's
this is a grant to you, Kathy, correct?
Yes, it is. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. So, I mean, hopefully the PPP, I used it just for rent, and payroll, and hopefully, the government's still working on that type of forgiveness, program for those businesses. So say a prayer that happens, because if not, that will be the end of me anyways. Yeah. So, yeah,
Yeah.
but it looks promising. So let's hope so.
Yep. Well, thank you, Kathy. That really, I'm amazed at the Barstool stuff. It's such a good thing that's happening, and we're really, he seems to be someone that's very interested in this stuff. So that's
Right.
really good.
Yeah, he's, his heart's in the right spot, for these small businesses. And
Yeah.
I mean, he's surely helped a majority of pubs, taverns, restaurants, more on the East Coast. He's from Boston, but up and down that whole Eastern seaboard and stuff. But he's helped, I think, quite a few here in California now, a few in Eureka, several restaurants in San Francisco, a couple out in the Valley, a Mexican restaurant out in, I think, Riverside or San Bernardino, and one down in Whittier. So, but we're very fortunate that, that we got this, and that we're still here for West Covina, and for you customers are what we're doing it for. Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming by, and
All
and thank Anthony for doing such a good job, because
Oh.
we like the place. So
Well, appreciate
thanks
it.
a lot.
And sorry we didn't get the video going, but yeah, look forward to seeing you all soon, and we continue this fight together, or
You-
we're
you
all
can-
in this.
You can come back next week and have your video on. That's
Is
okay.
it- All right.
See you at the restaurant later this week.
That sounds wonderful. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Good to see you all.
Okay. Jose, you made it. Did you want to say something about Tijuana? You need to unmute yourself.
Unmute, buddy.
There.
There you go.
They're gonna meet on the 13th, March the 13th. So I'm gonna be leaving on the 12th and meet with them.
So are you're inviting people to go down with you?
Yes, whoever wants to go, I have a place for them to stay.
Okay,
We
like
could go have lobster on Friday. We could go to Puerto Nuevo and have some good lobster there.
Oh,
Vicky,
So-
are you going?
so are there some special requirements for the border crossing with the COVID stuff?
Not at all.
We don't need our
have
vaccination
any.
cards or anything.
No. You don't have to do anything.
Well, we can see the get together with the link they provided on the invitation, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So if you want to go, we can go, and we'll just go down on the 12th and come back on the 13th. Is that the plan?
Yes.
Okay. All right, everybody.
Whoever wants to stay an extra day.
On that topic of the vaccination, if they give you a card or some proof that you've had your vaccination, wouldn't be a bad idea to take a picture of it, put it on your cell phone, keep it on your cell phone, and even make a copy and keep it in your purse or wallet, just so that you have proof. It's,
Okay,
you know, it's a very valuable,
Yeah.
valuable thing these days.
Yep.
okay. I have my 2 vaccines already, so I'm okay.
Yeah.
Also, Ken has his.
Also what?
Ken also has his 2 vaccines already. How about you, Drexel? Did you get your vaccine? Not yet?
One. I get my second tomorrow, so
Great.
I'll join the club.
I'm not old enough. I'm sorry.
Either. Oh yeah, rub it in, rub it in.
Enough.
All right, well, okay, so the 12th and 13th, when do you need to know, Jose, as to whether people are gonna come?
As soon as possible, so I can let
Yeah.
them know.
Sure, sure. Okay. Well,
And
we'll
they're
put
gonna
it,
have their mask and the distance and everything.
okay. Sounds good. So we will add that to the trumpet
Mhm.
and make sure everybody knows who to contact. So
Okay, thank you.
thank you. Thank you. All right, everybody, let's move on to the four-way
Are we having,
test.
are we having our next board meeting next Thursday?
Yes, I'll be sending out a meeting notice. So,
Okay,
all right.
yeah.
Excuse me. All right. So first,
Is it the
is
truth?
it the truth? Second,
Is it fair to all concerned?
third,
Will it build goodwill and better friendships?
and fourth,
Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
and fifth.
Is it fun?
Is it fun? All right, everybody. We've done another Wednesday. I hope everybody stays dry and warm.
Maybe we could meet sometime at this Vincenzo's restaurant.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
That is an excellent idea.
Yeah.
I think so. I think it's a great idea.
Let's do it.
Well, yeah.
Okay, everybody.
Gotta
We're
go.
Vicky's gonna coordinate a meeting at Vincenzo's, so
Okay, well, I have to share something with you. I have to share something with you, and that is that I'm going back to Oklahoma and also flying to North Carolina. So from there. So
Oh,
I'll
okay.
be gone. I'll be gone for the next 3.5 weeks or so. But I mean, I can do a Zoom meeting, but I won't be able to go to a restaurant unless you wait until I come back.
no, okay.
Or we go like tomorrow.
We may go more than once. You know.
Vicky,
Would like that.
Vicky,
Yes.
do you know how they call a pole bear from Oklahoma? Pole bear,
You know how they tell a polar bear from Oklahoma?
pole bear, pole bear. It's karaoke.
Oh,
Okay.
all right, everybody. That's the best thing we could do to end.
Okay.
Okay.
R-O-T-A-R-Y, that spells Rota.